In 1763, the British Empire stood victorious after the 7 Years' War. Yet, victory brought massive debt. To cover the costs, London decided the American colonies must pay their share, ending the era of salutary neglect and initiating direct imperial control. New taxes, like the Stamp Act, ignited fierce resistance. Colonists argued that without representation in Parliament, these taxes were tyranny. No taxation without representation became the rallying cry, fueled by emerging Republican ideals and a growing sense of distinct identity. Tensions exploded in 1773 with the Boston Tea Party, a dramatic act of defiance. Britain retaliated harshly with the Intolerable Acts, closing Boston Harbor and restricting local governance. This punitive response only unified the colonies further against the Crown. The breaking point arrived on April 19, 1775. British troops marched to seize colonial arms at Lexington and Concord. They clashed with local militias. The first shots were fired. The shot heard round the world. The American Revolutionary War had begun. On July 4, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. Drafted by Thomas Jefferson, this radical document proclaimed the birth of the United States, founded on the ideals of liberty and popular sovereignty. But achieving independence was another matter. The new nation faced the world's greatest superpower. Britain possessed overwhelming naval dominance and a professional army. The Continental Army, led by George Washington, chronically lacked funds and supplies. The early war was disastrous. The British captured New York City in 1776, pushing Washington's army to the brink. It became clear the revolution could not survive alone. They desperately needed a foreign ally, Britain's rival, France. But France hesitated, needing proof of American viability. The revolution needed a miracle, a decisive battlefield victory to convince France to join the fight. In 1777, the British launched a major campaign to isolate New England, the heart of the Revolution. General John Burgoyne led an army south from Canada to seize the Hudson River Valley, but the strategy unraveled due to logistical failures and lack of coordination. In October, American forces surrounded Burgoyne near Saratoga, New York. The resulting battle was a stunning American victory, forcing the surrender of an entire British army. Saratoga is the critical divergence point. The victory provided the proof France needed. Benjamin Franklin skillfully leveraged this success in Paris. In February 1778, France formally recognized American independence and signed a treaty of alliance, committing vital military and financial support. The war transformed from a colonial rebellion into a global conflict. Spain and the Netherlands joined the fight against Britain, stretching the empire's resources thin. Crucially, the involvement of the French Navy challenged Britain's dominance of the seas. French intervention proved decisive at the Battle of Yorktown in 1781. The French fleet blockaded the Chesapeake Bay, trapping the British army under Cornwallis. The combined Franco-American forces forced a surrender. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially recognized American independence. But what if Saratoga had been a British victory? We return to the autumn of 1777. In this timeline, General Burgoyne's strategy succeeds. His forces coordinate effectively, avoiding the logistical failures of our history, and smash the Continental Army at Saratoga. The strategic impact is devastating. The British secure the Hudson River Valley. New England, the cradle of the Revolution, is effectively isolated from the other colonies. This military disaster shatters American morale and disrupts the coordination of the resistance. The diplomatic consequences are catastrophic. In Paris, the news of the defeat at Saratoga chills French enthusiasm. The French government concludes the American cause is hopeless. Despite Franklin's pleas, France refuses the alliance, unwilling to risk war with a victorious Britain. The vital diplomatic lifeline is cut. The revolution now stands completely alone against the British Empire. Without French aid, the revolution rapidly unravels. The Royal Navy tightens its blockade, strangling the colonial economy, trade collapses, and the continental currency becomes worthless. leading to hyperinflation and widespread economic misery. The Continental Army, starved of supplies and pay, begins to disintegrate through desertion and mutiny. Meanwhile, the British military refocuses its efforts, systematically securing the southern colonies, Georgia and the Carolinas, rallying loyalist support, and re-establishing control. As the hope of independence evaporates, war weariness grips the population. The Continental Congress is paralyzed by division and despair. The revolutionary leadership fractures, with moderates seeking a way back into the empire and radicals facing isolation. By 1781, the rebellion is effectively crushed. Britain, eager to end the costly conflict, offers lenient terms. The colonies accept a negotiated settlement. They renounce independence in exchange for guaranteed autonomy, and the crucial concession of no direct parliamentary taxation the United States is stillborn. In the aftermath, the 13 colonies are reintegrated into the British Empire. Over the following decades, they gradually consolidate with Canada, evolving into the Dominion of North America, similar to Australia, self-governing yet loyal to the Crown. The most profound social change concerns slavery. In 1833, the British Parliament passes the Slavery Abolition Act, outlawing slavery throughout the empire. This monumental legislation is applied to the Dominion of North America, decades earlier than in our timeline. Emancipation is achieved through compensated abolition, funded by the British government. This process avoids open warfare, as the government pays slaveholders for their losses, mitigating the economic shock in the southern provinces, though racial inequality persists. The horrific trauma of the American Civil War, which claimed over 600,000 lives in our reality, is entirely avoided. The social development of North America proceeds without this foundational conflict, leading to a vastly different society. The aggressive American expansionism known as manifest destiny never emerges. Westward expansion still occurs, driven by migration, but it is slow, orderly, and tightly regulated by the government in London, rather than a chaotic land rush. Relations with Native American nations are also significantly different. The British approach emphasizes treaties and protected reserves, aiming for stability rather than the aggressive displacement seen in our timeline, though the system remains colonial. The geopolitical map of North America is radically altered. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 never happens. France retains a significant presence in the continent's heart, while the Southwest remains under Spanish, later Mexican control. North America is not a single continental superpower, but a complex mosaic of competing empires. By retaining the vast resources of North America, the British Empire becomes an unrivaled global superpower. The 19th century sees an enhanced Pax Britannica, with British economic and naval dominance extending further and lasting longer than in our timeline. The ideological impact is profound. The failure of the American experiment deals a severe blow to the spread of Republican democracy worldwide. Without this beacon, the global movement towards self-determination is delayed, bolstering the legitimacy of monarchies. The French Revolution of 1789 is likely delayed or significantly altered. The American Revolution was both an inspiration and a financial trigger. Without this catalyst, the French monarchy might navigate the crisis through moderate reforms, avoiding the radical upheaval. The age of revolutions is postponed, and the age of empires endures much longer. The 20th century unfolds in a fundamentally different geopolitical landscape. The absence of the United States as an independent superpower radically alters the dynamics of the world wars, which may still occur due to European rivalries, but in vastly different forms. The Dominion of North America participates as part of the British Empire. Its resources bolster the war effort, but it does not act as the independent arsenal of democracy that decisively intervened in our timeline's conflicts. The post-war world order is not defined by the US-Soviet Cold War. Instead, the 20th century remains an age of empires, with the British Empire maintaining its preeminent global position, gradually evolving into a powerful commonwealth. The American century we know simply never happened, replaced by a prolonged British century. It is 2025. The United States of America does not exist. In its place stands the Dominion of North America, a vast, powerful entity that remains a cornerstone of the Commonwealth. Its culture is a unique fusion of American dynamism and British tradition. Global American cultural dominance is significantly diminished. The global order is complex and multipolar. Without a singular American superpower, the world is balanced between several major blocs: the European Union, China, Russia, and a powerful, unified Commonwealth. The political DNA of the modern world is fundamentally altered. The ideals of the American Revolution, republicanism and universal rights, are less dominant, overshadowed by the enduring influence of British parliamentarism and gradual reform. A single battle in the wilderness of Saratoga reshaped continents, prevented a civil war, strengthened an empire, and forged a world where the stars and stripes never flew, all because of one divergence point in the autumn of 1777.